Okay, what about this, guys? Do you see the Field of Glory 2 screen? And obviously, look at that pile of Romans right there. We came off to a great start. I hope it continues, but only time will tell. We've also got our gladiators here ready to strike at the Romans. I believe we've done all our attacks. I believe we did them before we ended last turn, but of course I will check just to make sure. Let's see. There it is. Good, good, good. I'm going to check in one more time after just to make sure. And we are going to continue, my friends. So we'll start a little bit earlier today. We have 3 minutes till the start of the stream. We are continuing off our last battle, which is the battle as Spartacus. And things seem to be going well, but there's still a lot of work to do. So I'm going to go ahead and try and get a victory here. Grab a victory from the jaws of defeat. No, actually, we're doing okay. So first things first, the impact here against the veteran armored cav just wouldn't be worth it. We would be cut down pretty quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the units we can still bring to the field. Got some slave archers over here on the far eastern side. So we'll start bringing them forward. And we've also got some well-armed slaves. These are basically the closest thing we have to a legionary cohort. They're slaves given Roman weapons, armor. You guys have to keep in mind that Spartacus, when he would raid military camps, things like this, it was very, very common for him to go ahead and take all of the Roman equipment, the weapons, the shields, all the stuff that could be used by his own army. So it makes sense that some of these units would look almost like Roman legionaries. So yeah, we did all our moves last turn. There's no reason to go ahead and check everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and end the turn and turn it over to the Romans. So right now, 12% of our army has fled, 25% of the enemy army. Ooh, somebody redeemed something. Congratulations. Let us know who you are and what you redeemed, because we're all curious. You don't actually have to tell us, guys, what you redeemed if you don't want to. But I always like to find out. Okay, so now the Romans are starting to disrupt us. Remember, these are Roman legionaries we're facing, and they certainly know how to fight, especially against slaves. The thing about Spartacus' slaves, they were much better trained than most, but a large percentage of his army was also untrained slaves. So you had a few thousand that could fight, gladiators, etc., and you had a whole bunch others that were not capable necessarily of warfare. And you can see flank attacks on some of our auxilia units are not going to make things easier for the rest of our men. Look at that. I'm amazed that our men are even holding firm there, but it's really the center where we need to win, and we've been doing fairly well in the center. Alright, enemy is going to charge us. Don't forget, men, if you lose this battle, you all go into slavery. Our men have no choice. They've got to put out their absolute best foot during this battle, or their best gladius, depending on which comes first. Oh, nasty little slinger shot. And over here on the left flank, I think we could definitely beat the enemy. As you can see, they have raw legionaries. So basically, it's the equivalent of untrained men for the enemy. It's men that have never seen combat, given a shield, given a gladius, and told, hey, best of luck. So I think we can break them, but I unfortunately feel that our skirmishers here are going to be completely destroyed. Look at that, man. Even our warriors there. Okay, we broke one of the enemy units. Unfortunately, the morale check passed on every single one of the enemy units around us there. These are our lone gladiator heroes here. Now, for those of you that did not see the last part of this Let's Play, I will let you guys know that this is actually not an original campaign for the game. This is created, I believe, by Odanetheus. So you actually have to download this. But it's one of the awesome things about Field of Glory 2 that the amount of modding in the modding community is huge, and you can actually find it simply in the game. You can go ahead and search for it in the game, download the selected mod from the internet, and you have it. Things are going interesting here, guys, for sure. It looks like the Romans are pushing us on the flanks. What we don't want is for them to push us off the flanks and then roll us up, which is what I think they're going to try to do. Okay, it's our turn. Let's take a look here at the chat. No reverse letters this time around, Byron says. Boo. The stream tells everyone. Oh, nice. So you guys got notifications. Awesome. Will there be more coupons in the future? So, Byron, that's a really good question. Many of you guys have known that... Of course, Musso has left the company. So basically, the issue now is that we don't have anybody, or I guess the it's been decided that we're not going to have the user stream or anything like that until the new media relations manager is hired. So I'm not 100% sure on the coupons or how that works. I think somebody just got a coupon recently or just earlier in the stream, but I could be wrong. And essentially, like I said, I don't know 100% if that works. I can ask the folks at Slytherin. I don't really deal with that. I wish I could. I wish I could help you out there. But I think, as far as I know, the coupons should work the same as they did before. As for adding new coupons, that's really with Slytherin. I don't know 100%, my friend. Let's see right here, by the way, guys. I think we're about to get a nice break. Boom. Look at that. I know it's just a slinger unit, but hey, every single unit we take down from the enemy is good in my book. And I think I'm actually going to charge this Roman unit and try and get it to disperse. Oh, that's our unit. That's too bad. Not really much we can do over here. We can't charge this guy because the veteran armored cav is just way too strong for us. I wonder why we can't get into that zone of control. No worries. We've got Marcus Licinius Crassus. Now, Marcus Licinius Crassus is the guy that was basically in charge of destroying Spartacus. I think if we can get rid of him, that would be huge for our men's morale. So I'm going to go ahead and flank. And hopefully the well-armed slaves will get an attack next turn, at the very least. What I don't like is the Roman unit behind us. And I'm going to attack. We have to. We can't let this guy get behind our lines and get a flank attack. So I'm going to try to attack him. I'm also going to go ahead and start moving up on these Romans over here. Although, once again, our odds of beating these guys are not very good. Hopefully, if we attack with both legionary units, they'll do well. And actually there, our men did a lot better than expected against the veteran Roman legionaries. I'm sending in another group here of the slave legionaries, and unfortunately those guys got battered pretty badly. But all it takes is time. A few more decent attacks, and we could easily break the enemy. As for these guys, they're not going to do us any good over here, so I'm going to move the javelin men forward. Same with the slave slingers. And we've also got to check out that left flank. In this battle, this left flank, it's pretty far from our current position because this is actually our allied general coming to assist us. So if we could get these guys to the battlefield, there's no doubt about victory. I know we could win the battle. But the question is, can we get them there in time? And that's looking like a pretty tough question to answer right now. And that friend of his is Gannicus. So we'll turn Gannicus towards the legionaries here. I'm going to keep moving forward with some of these men. You can see that I've already started moving forward with some of them. Unfortunately, a lot of them are poorly armed slaves, basically units that have no use whatsoever. But I guess every man counts, more or less. Not always. Let's charge here. I think we can break this unit. There we go. Beautiful. So the raw legionaries have of course, taken off the field. Our men aren't even chasing them. So very, very well done by our men. And I'm sorry, it wasn't Gannicus that was Spartacus's best friend. It was this guy, Castus. So we're going to go ahead and move on the enemy here. Throw some javelins. Maybe break them soon. How do you go about getting the coupon? Let's see. I think it's right here to Slith Currency. You have to click this right here. Maybe that coupon's no longer available. That could be the issue as well. If you still have issues, Piddles, by the end of the stream, I will contact Slytherin and see if I can't help you out, man. Sorry about the issues there, but yeah, you definitely want to go for the coupon here. I think this is what you click. Ah, okay. Were you contacted or not? It might take a while to contact you. Again, if they don't contact you by the end of the stream, I will definitely put in a message for you, man. I'm so sorry, guys. You know, it's without the media manager, things are a lot more complicated. Things aren't running as smoothly as they were, 2-3 weeks ago. So hopefully we'll get that sorted very soon, my friends. All right, let's go for a charge here. 100% chance of a win. I think I want to break this guy, or I was hoping he would disperse there, but I guess he's not going to. That's surprising to me. No, that wouldn't work out very well. That definitely wouldn't work out. We just have to hope that the guys that remain in the fight can break these Romans. Yeah, you know what? I can actually move forward with these guys. Same with these archers. They're all the way on the eastern side of the battlefield. And I will start turning this way so that we can start heading towards the battle. So with the slave skirmishers, I am really tempted to go ahead and fire on the enemy here. Maybe force them to chase us. But of course, with skirmishers, we have to be right up next to the enemy. And I'm not too comfortable with that. Okay. Ooh. All right, let's turn around with the Bestiarius. The Bestiarius gladiators are, of course, the best at fighting beasts, as you would probably guess. So they fight lions, things like that. So they do very well against cavalry. Horses to them, no big issue whatsoever. Right, let's end the turn. Love to see those fleeing Romans. That's a sign that our job is done, my friends. Or at least part of our job is done. We still have a lot of Romans to break. Okay, we just actually had a Roman missile unit rally up there. Not something I expected. And of course, historically, Spartacus lost this battle. This was where Spartacus was completely defeated. And I think it's probably because he was, initially he was doing very well because he was using the ancient equivalent of guerrilla tactics. But in that final battle of the Salarius River, he decided to go ahead and face, the Romans in open combat. And while the slaves put up an excellent fight, I think it was almost impossible for Spartacus to win the fight. We always love historical discussions in the chat, so if you guys want to debate that, please feel free. I'd love to see some thoughts, for and against. Spartacus was doing extremely well initially, but of course, as soon as he went to open combat, I think that was a mistake. So there we go. They've broken another line of ours, and this is exactly what happened in the battle. If you guys see the first part of this series, which if you haven't, take a look at our video manager and look there. But essentially, in the beginning of the battle, the Romans came with two cohorts. So they had two legionary cohorts, one in front of the other. The first one attacked us. We were doing really well against the first one, but now they've packed that second one in and made it that much stronger. And it's possible that they could break us soon. And what about over here on the left? Could we break these raw legionaries? I think we can. 26. They still held firm, but a lot of them are going down. And incredibly, that unit that's disrupted is still holding firm, guys, against the enemy. These guys, unfortunately, could not hold firm, and they have broken. We can't have that line breaking like that. Everybody has to do their job. Beautiful, guys. So once again, another one of our actual gladiators here got the enemy to run. We've got a gladiator unit, or excuse me, a legionary unit disrupted by our gladiator unit. We definitely want to get a close look at that. There we go, guys. Another enemy unit breaking. And they were just disrupted. So we've actually caused another cavalry unit to disrupt as well. Unfortunately, it looks like these legionaries are being chopped up. Our legionaries are being chopped up by the Romans. Okay, wow. A lot has changed, guys. 33% we've got the Romans at. Let's take a look here. You broke it, says Hartrop. No worries, man. We'll figure it out, guys. We'll absolutely get you guys the points in case anybody lost any or something like that. Okay, so let's see. All right, I want to take this Bestiarius. I can't get the attack on the flank because the zone of control, which is frustrating. So I'm going to attack this guy. If we can break this enemy cavalry unit, everybody here is going to have to take a morale check. That's my thinking right now. So I want to try and break it. Let's get a flank charge on the enemy here. Not sure I want these guys facing this way, so let's turn this way. We'll get the Bestiarius to attack. Even if the enemy completely retreats, I think that'll actually be a good thing. In other words, if the enemy disperses. Not sure if that means a check for the other units, but it certainly means more casualties for the enemy. All right, for these guys, I'll turn around. I think it's about time we face these legionary units, and they look fairly easy to break. Again, they've been beaten up pretty badly. If we just look at the numbers here, we can see that only 344 out of 480 are left in this one. And on this one, 378 out of 480. And you can see right there, the amount of dead Roman and slave legionaries is pretty huge. So that's certainly something we can try and take advantage of. Alright, I'm actually going to go ahead and fight back against these skirmishers, because we have the potential to break them. And we've got this guy, the Venator. I'm not sure what weapon this is. I think it's a Falx, if I'm not mistaken. It is a brutal weapon. It's just a huge scythe-like weapon with a handle. And instead, of course, being curved, it's just a long blade. But this guy has been torturing the Romans. So hopefully we can keep that up. I'm also going to send this gladiator through the Velites. And it looks like the enemy ran. Velites is not in the best position now. I'm going to try and get that flank charge. Unfortunately, that zone of control is, of course, owned by these Romans. So we can't really do much there. We need to break the zone of control and control it ourselves. It's not easy. Easier said than done. All right, I'm doing this just so they don't impact our other line. The chances of us actually beating this unit are not huge, but at least the enemy can't attack us with a flank charge. Okay. .33, they held firm, but of course this unit is waning away very quickly. I'm going for another charge against that cavalry. Worked out well the first time, and they fell back, sure enough. Turn and fire with our slave slingers here. Every legionary killed is going to help us. So I really do think we really have to take every kill as it comes. These guys are about to break for sure. These are mediocre Roman legionaries. I love Odenathus. He's very specific in his mods, and I love the mediocre Roman legionaries. Let's take a look here. Look at him go, he says. Maybe like an antivirus? I'm not sure. I think it should show up. Okay, let's see. Attack with Gannicus, of course. And, it would be excellent if I could go ahead and get a flank charge here with our buddy Castus. Coming in for the win, guys. Nope, not at all. Close enough, though, Castus. Well done. Well done, man. All right, the rest of these guys, we are, of course, heading straight to the battlefield. I'm sort of doing a little turnaround here. And yes, the camera moves 360 degrees. We don't often have to do that in these battles, but in this case, since we have these reinforcements arriving, I absolutely want to be in total control of this army. But the battle is so far away, and this is another problem during the actual battle of the Salarius River. Just for the reinforcements to come would have taken just way too long. By the time they arrived, Spartacus's army was pretty mangled. So let's see if, what else can we do? Of course, we'll keep moving with our archers here. And we'll keep moving with our soldiers here. Just keep on marching towards the battlefield. Hopefully we get there in time. We could actually do a flank charge. This is hilarious. Out of the woods, and apparently get a pretty good smash on the Roman legionaries. Now, keep in mind, this is just a slave skirmisher unit. So this is the equivalent of the Roman legion doing an about face, and all of a sudden, a bunch of guys come out of the woods with daggers, just stabbing away. I love it. Yeah, we can move here with the javelin men. Let's go ahead and fire on the Cretan archers. Now, this is where I don't know what to do, and I certainly am not going to attack the enemy. I'll face him, but I think that's about all I can do there. Okay, guys, ending the turn, turning it over to the Romans. All right, our left flank is buckling. Not good. Like I said, the worst thing that could happen is for the Romans to encircle us. Well, actually, the worst thing that can happen is we lose the battle. But the second worst thing that can happen is the Romans encircling us. So we want to stop that. They finally auto-broke that unit. That was only a matter of time. And now the odds are very close, as you can see here, guys. And look at the amount of dead on that field. If you guys are just taking a look at the field right now, you rarely see that many bodies on a field in Field of Glory 2. The amount of casualties is going to be insane for this battle. I can't wait to see it. I'm almost certain, actually, that we are going to reach the end of this battle in this stream. And I am still hoping we can win. Who thinks we can win? Who thinks we can lose? Let us know in the comments below, and let us know why or how you would have played the battle differently, or specifically this part of the battle. Because I gotta say, I think right now, all we can really do is keep fighting. I don't have any other ideas except for getting those reinforcements here. If we can get them here and hold, then we can flank the enemy and utterly win the battle without much difficulty. But I'm not sure that's going to happen. Nice! Amazing job by Gannicus breaking the unit. Of course, Gannicus is a barbarian, so instead of stopping and being calm about the situation, he's going to go chase the unit to hell and back, which is not what I wanted him to do, but it is what it is. Now remember, it's not enough to get them to 45% if we can't actually, get them to 45% with a 20% difference. In this case, we're 10% away or 12% away, so this is going to be tough. We're going to have to break them. Sorry, guys, let me put that phone in another room. Okay, just in time for our turn here. And once again, I think it's really up to our gladiator heroes here to change the course of battle. I'm going to go ahead and try to charge with Spartacus himself. It's obvious we don't want to get Spartacus into the Roman lines, actually, so let me see if maybe some well-armed slaves could do the job of breaking this unit first. But honestly, I think it's going to take Spartacus here to break. 22, they held firm. Look at how many of them they've lost, guys. 253 from 480. Fragmented. All right, here we go. Can move. No, I don't think we're going to attack there. We could go for a flank charge against the cavalry that's already fleeing, just to make absolutely sure they don't return to the field, but I don't see the benefit in that. What we will do is start engaging these Romans. Even though it doesn't look like we're going to win, I think, given the numbers we have here, we can overwhelm them even if they do overwhelm us in terms of tactics. So basically, we could just get enough men to attack them that the probability is eventually going to fall on our side here. I'm going to move this guy forward as well as this well-armed slave unit here. I was so hoping we could get that break. Doesn't look like it, though. And we'll turn and fire with the Gladiator Velites. I'm also going to attack Marcus Licinius Crassus somehow. If we can kill Crassus, I mean, it's basically like them killing Spartacus. It's a major blow to the enemy. And I don't like this cavalry unit behind us. It makes me very nervous. No, we'll keep this unit. We'll look here at the chat. Hey, Engineer Kenny, how you doing? Still waiting patiently for the Gladiatus video. And Engineer Kenny is saying it's going to be a tough win, but you can do it. That's a nice way of saying I believe in you, but I don't think you're going to win this one. A lot of legions there. Yes, we must believe Piddles, exactly. So yeah, Engineer Kenny wants a Gladius video, and right now, like I said, use the forums, the Slytherin forums, to ask, especially if you want me to do a Gladius video. Say, hey, I want Agrippa to do a Gladius video soon. I think right now, the game is still under production, etc., so it's not ready to be looked at yet, if I'm not mistaken. But I really miss it. As you guys know, when I was last at Slytherin, I had a great time playing Gladius. Just a really, really fun game, and I can't wait to jump back in. I think really the race or faction I'm going to play with the most is probably going to be the Necrons. They just look so cool, so creepy as well. And I really don't know much about the Necrons. That's not to say I'm a huge 40k guy in general. I've never really known too much. I knew a lot about the Space Wolves because I used to have an army. But the Necrons I know nothing about. I really want to find out what they're about. Flank charge here. So we're tricking this Roman unit. Once he turns to face this guy, we're flanking him from the other area. Unfortunately, he actually managed to fight that one away. Why can't we turn around? Ah, there we go. Because we were already turned. All right, 6 damage might not seem like a lot, but hey. It's something, right? Again, this is a numbers game, I think, especially on the line over here to the left. So I'm going to attack. "27, man. Those slave archers are very good at their jobs. All right, we'll turn this way. And we might be able to get an attack with our Bestiarius here, guys, on the enemy flank. That could change a lot. Doesn't look like we scared him too much, though. I think the veteran armored cavalry is pretty confident in their ability. So even though we outmatch them, they're not necessarily going to get up and run anytime soon. We are, however, taking over the zone of control a little bit more, at least in this part of the battlefield. Look at this. The Gladiator Sagittarius can throw from all the way back here. And I know this unit is running away, but hey, still getting a unit to run like that always makes me happy. Let's turn this guy around. It's obvious that the cavalry is probably going to try to charge him. But you can just see that. I mean, that battlefield is just a bloodbath. And this is exactly what the Battle of the Salarius River was like. A lot of dead on both sides, really. We moved all of our units? Yes, we have. You've watched my first Gladius video many times. Sort of rewatching it, yeah. Yeah, it was a really fun game. And of course, you know, that was fun. And just to think that after that, so much more is being added to the game. You know, so many more updates, you know, fixing some bugs, some issues, etc. It's just going to be incredible. So I can't wait myself, man. That's a break. That's a break. 2 breaks on our side, guys. They are rolling up that left flank. This is everything that happened in the battle and exactly what we worried about. And see, even if the reinforcements arrive, you know, after these guys break, it won't make a difference. Because at that point, we won't be able to get flank attacks on the enemy. The legions will be facing our reinforcements, and they will eventually destroy them, as you guys could probably assume. Look at that. Yeah, that unit auto-broke and lost a lot of men. We're charging our archers. That almost never ends well for the archers. Unless the enemy unit are poorly armed slaves. We have to really, really hope and pray that we can break that cavalry unit. If we can get the Roman cavalry unit to run, there's a small chance that the preceding morale check will cause a few of the enemy units to disrupt. Because, see, the bad thing about how the Romans are set up right now is they're so compact that if we start to get a big disruption going, then all of them could start running at once. But I think they're actually packed this way because they're legions. They want to stay together. They want to stay, you know, close to one another. If one man falls, another man takes his place. Pretty straightforward tactics, and it's working out very well for them right now. In fact, some of our units aren't even continuing to rout. They're just dispersing immediately. They're saying there's no way we're going to win this battle. Let's at least see if we can win our freedom. There we go, though. You can see we got the enemy to perform a morale check because we broke that unit, but everybody passed it. So they seem to be pretty confident in their victory here. Okay, Spartacus. All right, so we're taking Spartacus himself. We're actually going to attack this unit right here, the veteran Roman legionaries. And for those of you wondering, yes, Spartacus, if you wonder what type of gladiator he was a Murmillo class gladiator. So if you just want to look up Murmillo on Wikipedia, you can kind of see the class of gladiator he was here. And look at that. Once again, they all passed the morale check. Really frustrating, but there's nothing we can do about that. I'm going to try to get these guys clinched. Obviously, it doesn't look like we'll win at first, but maybe, given some time, we can actually break through the enemy line here. All right, there's a tiny, tiny chance, an 8% chance that we can win against Crassus. Obviously, 19% chance that we're going to lose, but I'm not sure. I really want to try to attack. Maybe it's best just to go ahead and stay put. I think that's what I'll do. Nice, we got some cav to fall back. And perhaps we can go for another attack on these Roman legionaries. I always knew these guys were going to be an easy target because they've already been in a fight with several of our legionary units in the start of the battle. But now they're a bit of a handful. I definitely want to get the charge here. And sure enough, that caused a disruption, a fragmentation as well. Wow, it's very close to a break. Come on, guys. Maybe during next turn they will break. It's definitely a decent start, though. And here we go. Enemy unit is fragmented. And we are going to charge here with the Bestiarius, who's a legend at killing animals in combat. But sure enough, the enemy held firm. Frustrating, but what can we do? And the Romans are very well trained. You know, they're very disciplined. You guys generally know what happens when a Roman legion runs away, or when a lot of Romans run away. It could affect the entire legion later on, not only in terms of disrespect, but in all forms of punishment. So the Romans were not afraid to inflict punishments to men that ran away from battle, as you could probably imagine. These guys are sticking around. Now, luckily over here, we got some revenge for our men in the center. You can see a bunch of dead Roman legionaries, as well as a bunch of dead men on our side, slave legionaries here. Unfortunately, these Roman legionaries were specifically mediocre and raw Roman legionary units. In other words, the very worst of the legions. And now we're going up against real legions. I don't think our chances are very good. Fire! Get a quick little flank attack there. The situation with this legion is pretty funny because they're just stuck between a rock and a hard place. And as soon as they turn to face this guy, we flank attack them. Then when they turn this way to attack these guys, we fire a volley at them. If we could do that non-stop, that would actually be a really good sort of rock, paper, scissors technique to beat the enemy. Don't like the fact these guys are not in the best position, but getting in here allows us to control a bit of the area. So I am going to move in there. Let's get the Sagittarius up a bit, and we'll fire again with the Slinger unit. 29! Unbelievable. Alright, let's take a look here at the chat. I like your optimism, says Artrop. How you doing, Artrop? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I'm trying to be optimistic. I mean, we have to be. You know, we're playing as the forces of Spartacus. If we lose here, we all go back into slavery. So we don't want that to happen. Okay, I'm going to end the turn, guys. Yeah, Crassus is really doing quite well there at the front. Yeah, so that's the unit. We just moved forward to take control of that zone of control. It was absolutely forced back. We just couldn't handle it. Way too much pressure for the enemies here. And now the Romans are doing exactly what we feared from the very beginning of this stream, and that is they are slowly beginning to form a circle around our men. It's not long now. You know, can we still win? There's a small chance that we can, but I think it's a very small chance. The best we can hope for, I'm guessing, is probably to keep the Romans fighting us for a very long time, cause massive casualties on their side, which we already have. I mean, 43% is almost half their army. But besides that, I don't know if victory is possible here, unless we get very, very lucky. The reason being, all of the times that the enemies took a morale check during this particular stream, they have not failed it. They've passed all their morale checks. Had they failed a few, you know, we would have some disrupted units here and there, in the middle of the actual square that they have set up right now. And that would work out extremely well for us, but that's just not the case. So we'll have to see. Lady Luck doesn't seem to be on our side in this battle. But maybe we can still pull victory from the jaws of defeat. Okay, here we go. First things first. I want to break this guy. And he is broken. Off to the races there, as was said before. And look at that, guys. 238 of 480. Unbelievable. Now, these guys, of course, can't attack this turn. They were involved in that bit of combat there. What about these skirmishers? What about our I'm sure I'm going to totally butcher this name. The Hoplomachus? Is it the Hoplomachus? Use him to flank attack the enemy, but it doesn't look very promising. Next turn, it'll be a little more promising, so I'm going to take the risk. Don't be tricked by 11 dying on the enemy side and none dying on my side. Keep in mind that this gladiator unit represents one elite hero unit. So even if I get 0 on my side as a loss, that doesn't necessarily mean that the unit is not going to break next turn or, you know, isn't in trouble or in a bad position. So, you know, it's an unfortunate reality of the situation we find ourselves in. Fire. Nice. Very nice hit. Can we charge in and kill this cav unit? Let's see. Not bad. Not great either, let's be honest. But not bad. And you could actually see the Roman legions right there starting to turn around, make that curvature there. In fact, we'll take a look from the Roman perspective here. But they've got a really nice setup here. So all they have to do is turn around, curve around our men, and we are in serious trouble. That being said, we shall never, ever give up. Keep moving, boys. One tile at a time. So yeah, you can basically see here, by the time our reinforcements arrive, the battle is pretty much over. And for once, the enemy didn't fall for our ruse. They actually went ahead and just stayed turned towards us, which really ruined our ruse completely. Really wish I could turn towards that unit this turn, but we can't. And let's hope these guys rally up before the end of next turn. $33 down just from one Bestiarius attack. Nicely done, guys. Now, Spartacus is right there, guys. He's trapped in the middle of all this conflict. He must win. 47, the enemy held firm. Just Spartacus alone. But the enemy pulling back was actually helping them, because now they can attack Spartacus from multiple angles, possibly killing him in combat. It was actually a fallback that the enemy probably wanted to happen. I'm going to move back into that position so we have the zone of control at least. Let's take a look here at the fight. Engineer Kenny says, try swinging your right flank around them. Might just work, but you need to do it soon. Yeah, I don't think there's enough time for it. We could try, but I think within one turn they'll have that right flank dealt with. Yes, absolutely, Pixel. Pixel was mentioning we're finishing the Spartacus battle. If you guys want to see the first part of the battle, just go into our video manager after the stream and take a look at the stream we did before this. You know, this has been an incredible fight. I mean, when we started the battle, just like the actual battle of the Salarius River, we were doing really well. But given time, given the arrival of the 2nd Legionary Cohort, we of course find ourselves in a nasty bit of trouble. Our men will fight to the very end. That being said, they might have to fight to the very end. All right, here we go. Turning it over to the Romans. So a lot of the Roman units are also dispersing. I mean, this was a brutal fight. So I'm sure some of them are kind of in shock. But they're doing just fine with the break. And there we go. Crassus has gotten through. This is going to be difficult. Although Crassus just got a little disrupted. If we could break him, that would be huge. I mean, getting a kill against Crassus might be the only way we can win this fight now. Because that could cause major disruptions along the line. And the Romans are, let's be honest, at 45%. If we could just get 15% more, that's all we need. It's an automatic victory. So we really need to try to do that. I'm not sure if there's enough time for it, though. But I like the idea of swinging that right flank around, as mentioned in the chat. It's a really good idea. Just not sure if we have the manpower for it, number one, or the time for it. Hey, we've got some guys rallying. Look at that, guys. Some slaves rallying. And what that means is we just have to kill 10% more of the enemy. Looks like some of the enemy's fragmenting there. Have faith, guys. Anything could happen. Anything could happen here. Wow, the Romans are holding firm against all our attacks. They know what happens if they break here. You know, we get a hold of that right flank and we can do a lot. Oh, this is exciting. We could actually potentially do all right here. Okay, so what to do? I'm going to turn. Attack. Fortunately, we can't get a charge with the Legion this turn, but we'll get prepared. And let's go ahead. Attack with this unit. Attack with this unit. You can see the Legionaries dropping on the floor there. They don't have a lot of men left here. 321, well, 321 out of 480. It's still a lot of men, let's be honest. What about a flank attack there? Doesn't look like it would work very well this turn. This might work all right. And now let's take Spartacus himself. 46 damage to the enemy. They're falling back. Wow. The strength of Spartacus there, just managing to push an entire enemy unit back. And let's catch these guys as well. The chances are actually pretty high that we're going to lose. So I'm going to try and get these guys to battle. I'll just face the enemy here. This unit is already pretty badly damaged, so I don't necessarily want to attack their unit. Cause a rout this turn for our unit. That's not going to help us. What about this guy? Oh, look at this. So let's get a shot at Crassus. Like I said, a break in Crassus. Fragmented. Fragmented. Oh, we were so close. So close to getting a break in Crassus. Let's see if we can break this guy, and maybe Crassus will fail the morale check. Although I'm not sure if generals have to take a morale check. Yeah, they do. He held firm. Close, but no Gladius. Turn this guy towards the enemy as well, just in case he tries to get fidgety and attack. And, of course, keep moving. I mean, we're at least 3 to 4 turns away from the battle. Some guerrilla tactics there, although I think the Romans have sobered up to their knowledge, I should say, of our guerrilla tactics. It's good to see that some of our units have decided to come back to battle, but I think a little too late for that to be happening. That's pretty much all we can do there. Let's take a look at the chat here. Ooh, you are low on the leaderboard, my friend. How you doing, Lancer? Okay, we are going to turn it over to everybody's favorite enemy. Here we go, guys. And I thought we were going to end this particular battle during this stream. Now I'm not so sure. We might need another stream to finish off this fight. It's so back and forth. So much happening here that this might continue on. Well, at that point, as you see, once they start disrupting our gladiator hero units, problems start to occur. And, you know, once the gladiator hero units run, we're very close to defeat. As you can see, their Spartacus is being charged from the flank here. I think they could be about to kill Spartacus, actually. A few more strikes at his flank, and he is going down. I think there should definitely be a caveat in this particular battle that if Spartacus or Crassus goes down, that side automatically loses. That's the importance of these leaders. In this particular battle. They really were very, very strong leaders of their time, incredible generals. And Crassus, you know, there's no reason to doubt him either. He was pretty great. The fact is that Spartacus's slaves were able to keep the Romans under a great terror for a very long time, you know, almost threatening the city of Rome itself. So Crassus was able to stop that. Okay, we got some more units rallying on our side. I mean, we definitely have a lot more units rallying on our side than the enemy does. I'm not sure if that bodes well for us, or if it's not going to matter too much. All right, let's get a flank attack here. Actually, we'll try to get a flank attack on the enemy's rear because they're attacking Spartacus right now. And saving Spartacus is our most important goal at the moment. Breakthrough here. They held firm. And I think the reason they're holding firm is they know all they need to do is hold on a few more minutes, and Spartacus is dead. Once he goes down, the entire barbarian army essentially loses face and really probably doesn't want to continue the fight. All right, nice impact charge here. Could have actually gone for a charge there, but I think it's safer just to keep our distance and keep throwing rocks at this unit. At least we're keeping them away from the main battlefield. This guy keep on moving. Okay, what about right here, guys? Could we get a break? They held firm. It's incredible. Even with the amount of men they're losing, they are still holding firm. They know the consequences here. And I'm sure that a group of slaves, an army of slaves that takes essentially their oppressor's prisoner, they're not going to treat them very nicely. I think the enemy also has that in mind. Oh my goodness. Please, fingers crossed, guys. We're going to try to break Crassus. We still have one more chance. No! I was really hoping that would be a break for sure on Crassus. Well, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to save this game. I told you. I thought we were going to end this turn, but no. There's a lot more to go, or at least a little more to go. And I'm going to save it over the victory save. That's what we called it last time, because we were sure we were going to have a victory. And sure enough, this part of the battle proves that there is still a ton to be fought here in this fight against the Romans. And I'm not sure. I still think there's a chance we can win this one. But if they kill Spartacus next turn, no, we're finished. He's the commander-in-chief of the army, and if he goes down, we all go down. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys. Engineer Kenny, of course, Piddles and Squishy, Archrop, Kandra, Pixel, all of our old friends, Jaculist as well, and Solaristics. Solaristics was here earlier. I don't know if he stuck around for the whole stream. I hope he did. But I thank you all. We are also going to have a stream, I believe, on Friday, and I hope to see you guys there. So take care, guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.